current scores as we stand. We have 13 for Liverpool Sisters of Mersey and 11 at the moment for Leeds Roller Derby 80. Although both jammers are on a scoring pass. Ruckus gets out, picks up 4 more. As Red Riot is being held there by the Liverpool pack. And that is the end of the jam. So, apologies for the delayed start. It's Roller Derby, just technical issues, it happens. So, running through in Liverpool, in yellow today, skating for the Sisters of Mersey. We have number 13, Sammy Rizzle, number 14, Jem, number 15, Elwand, number 31, Mac, number 36, Atomic, 43 is Kenny, 49, Jamming is Fox, 77, Bailey, 105, Ruckus, 257, Crash, 289, Corey, 764, Tids, 993, Rollo, and 6371 is Shellfire. Next opportunity, I'll run through the Leeds roster, but they do have Catastrophe Jamming up against Fox. So we've got a spread out pack at the moment, but Lead Jammer has gone to Fox. I believe that's 4 out of 5 Lead Jammers now for Liverpool, as Leeds hemorrhage a couple of blockers to the S1 penalty box. As Fox picks up 4 more, Catastrophe, star in hand. But unfortunately for them, pivot in the penalty box, but does get round nicely. And Fox calls the jam off, frees those 2 Leeds blockers in the S1 penalty box. So skating for Leeds, we have number 10, Glitter, 35, Leanimal, 37, Peggy, 44, Chaos Cat, 61, the captain, Crystal Frost, 87, Siege, 93, Barbie, 94, Red Riot, 225 Catastrophe, 262 Screech, 278 Royce Rocket, 500 Grace Ventura, 2200 Ori, 087 Potts, and 26 Kerosene. And we have Sammy Rizzle for Liverpool and Peggy Lethal jamming for Leeds. Sammy Rizzle gets through, makes the most of the pack advantage to get through, pick up lead jammer. And coming back in now, virtually untouched to complete this first scoring pass. Although both Leeds blockers have now returned to the track. And Peggy Lethal, just Kenny to beat at the front. And Dustin. And Peggy Lethal was picked up a forearm penalty. So that will put Liverpool with Sammy Rizzle on the power jam. A chance for Liverpool to extend that lead as well. Oh, big collision there between Leanimal and Kenny. Another Leeds pivot again, that is Glitter. Goes into the box. Jam's called, freezing Peggy Lethal in the penalty box. Big jam there for Liverpool. 38 plays 15. So apologies for the delayed start this morning, but those of you who've been around Roller Derby for any length of time know that technical issues and things never go well at the start of the tournament. It always takes a little bit of time to get in. Massive thank you to the team at Real Time Events for putting together this stream for us. Makes life a lot easier if you can sit at home and watch it than have to drive. But quite happy to have driven through the pack there was Ruckus. Gets out, picks up lead jam once again for the Sisters of Mersey in yellow. And Crash opens the door. 4 points picked up. Illegally, Crash will go and sit in the S1 penalty box for that. Peggy Lethal now trying to find space as Ruckus takes to the air to get through, and Elwand with the takeout. And the cut has been called on Lethal. Elwand has gone to the box. We'll see what happens with that. As Ruckus now trying to fight their way through that pack. Leeds defence led by the pivot Glitter, doing a grand job slowing them down on this pass. As Bailey heads to the S1 penalty box just as Crash leaves. So his Glitter goes to the box. They all sit in the S1 penalty box. And a little bit of breakdown of communication between Bench and Jammer. Slight delay on the call-off, which allowed Peggy Lethal to be freed from the S1 penalty box. S1, trusted by pros. Stay safe. Also donated an S1 Lifer helmet to our raffle. It was very nice of them. So 10 minutes gone in the first period. Liverpool in the yellow on 50. Leeds in the black on 15. Fox and Catastrophe even, respectively, for their teams. And Catastrophe gets the first lead in a while for Leeds. Much, much needed. And coming through now on a scoring pass. Fox with the star pass has got themselves through the pack. Puts the star pack on, so they are eligible to score points. Kenny trying to draw the cut, but didn't quite do it. Picks up the Catastrophe, picks up the 4. 2 points for Fox. Excuse me. Also want to give a shout out to the Whitfield Business Hub, our track sponsor today, supporting businesses with virtual reception solutions. That's going to be a delay of game penalty. Leeds did not get skaters on track in time, so the captain, who I believe is number 61, Crystal Frost, will be assessed with a delay of game penalty for that one. Also give a shout out to Mersey Skates, that were born out of love for roller skating and a passion for building the local community. Let me try that one again. Mersey Skates was born out of a love for roller skating and a passion for building the local skating community here in Liverpool. It's early, the caffeine hasn't kicked in yet. That's my excuse. And if you are going to be watching the stream all weekend, you will have to put up with me all weekend. I am hopeful that at some point during the weekends I will have friends, but for now it's just me. Now we've got the resets. And we have Sammy Rizzle up against Red Riot for Liverpool and Leeds, respectively. Sammy digging in. Switched back. Started derby career as a jammer. Had been blocking, but has switched back to jammer this weekend. He's been doing effectively so far. Still doing effective as well, but not quite as effective as Red Riot on this jam. We've got a bit of a foot race. Leeds again with 2 blockers in the penalty box, as Barbie had joined Crystal Frost in the S1 penalty box. 1 point for Leeds, 4 for Liverpool. Sammy Rizzle turning on the gas there to pick up 4 points. And taking the stars this time on your right as we look. 105 for Liverpool, Betty Ruckus on the left as we look in the black. Number 37, Peggy Lethal for Leeds. And the line opens up on the outside. Ruckus picks up the outside. Picks up lead jam. Great work from Mac to recycle Peggy back close to the jam line. And that time it was a combination of Kenny and Jem doing the same thing. And a cut has been called on Ruckus, so they will sit in the S1 penalty box. And Peggy Lethal will now have a power jam in her favour. Although Barbie is on their way back to the S1 penalty box as well. Trying to work out if Ruckus was either assessed the second penalty or was just told to fix the armbands. I'm not sure which. They're standing now, so I'm assuming it was told to fix the armbands. But this jam, of course, will now go for 2 minutes, as Ruckus was lead before going to the S1 penalty box. Now comes back in, having had a sit down and trying to blast through. Peggy Lethal takes the tumble at the front, courtesy of Atomic. It's been quite a busy S1 penalty box so far. Both teams sending quite a few in that way. There's one of each there currently. Make that two of each. Peggy Lethal does get through, picks up 4 points for Leeds. As does Ruckus for Liverpool. And the scoreboards, here we go, there we go, it's now updated. It had frozen for a moment. So 8-8 in that jam. Halfway through the first period, 11-8 in that jam, 3 points added on at the end there. 67 to Liverpool in the yellow, 28 to Leeds in the black. This is the first of 3 games today. Second game at 1:30 p.m. UK time will be Liverpool's B team, the Yellow Chef Marines, against Durham Roller Derby. And then at 4:30 we will have London Brawl Saints versus Newcastle Kenny Belters. But anyway, back to the action on track, live and in colour. Catastrophe is your lead jammer, as Fox has now completed their initial pass. Catastrophe coming in now, looking to pick up the scoring points. Fighting through, deciding to run the jam. Fox is picking up points as well. But Catastrophe is through, picks up 4. Fox trying to get past, couldn't find their way past Ori at the front. And Ori's there again, helped out by Rice Rocket. And despite the best efforts of Atomic, that time Catastrophe is through. It's a 12-point jam so far from Leeds. This is what they needed to try and close that gap before the half. Grace Ventura, Ori and Rice Rocket doing a great job holding back Fox. Just as I say that, Fox manages to find just enough space on the outside to get through, pick up 4. And Catastrophe decides to call that off. 16 points to 4 in favour of Leeds in that jam. Both teams so far running a 3-jammer rotation. And the jammers of the right now are Rice Rocket for Leeds and Semi Rizzle for Liverpool. Away we go. Semi Rizzle finds the gap very quickly up the inside. Manages just to sneak past Kerosene to get through. And has about a turn's length lead over the Red Riot. Semi Rizzle gets around the outside, calls it. Might be 2 points, 1 point. 1 point for Red Riot, 3 for Semi Rizzle, and Jammers had a high 5 as they made their way back to their respective benches. We have a change of jammers. We have Ori now, first time that they have taken the star, up against Ruckus. Ori just trying to use their strength on the outside, but combination of Rollo and Corey, braced by Bailey, forced Ori out, and that time allows Ruckus to pick up your lead. And got about half a trank lengths lead on Ori, who is now out of the pack. Ooh, Ruckus gets dropped on the inside. Calls it before Ori gets any points, but did pick up some themselves. 3, I believe. Yep. Signalled by our wonderful jam referee, Alice. So we have Catastrophe. Last time they were out, won the jam 16-4. Leeds will be looking to see if they can do that again to close this 32-point gap. Trying to prevent that happening for Liverpool though is Fox. But Catastrophe is out despite the best effort of Tids as a last-ditch effort. Catastrophe does have lead jam, although Fox is out not far behind as Kenny goes to sit in the penalty box. Catastrophe, lovely inside-out move. Tids did well sticking with them. Fox did brilliantly there to keep the toe stops in on the outside. 4 points each. And there's Tids doing the damage. Getting congratulations from teammate Mac as well. But a 7-4 win on that jam for Catastrophe and Leeds. 10 minutes to go. 81 plays, 52 in favour of Liverpool, who have Sammy Rizzle jamming up against Red Riot. And off we go. Both jammers digging in, trying to find space. Leeds with the extra blocker, have Chaos Cat trying to cause chaos and offense and open the door for Red Riot, which has been done successfully. As I think that is Corey heading to the S1 penalty box, joined by Kenny. So it's now Liverpool with 2 blockers in the box, giving Leeds the pack advantage. Can they make the most of it like Liverpool did earlier in the period? So far, so good. That's a 3rd Liverpool blocker. This time it's Crash, who will be able to sit down as Corey had just stood up. So 1 blocker, which is Bailey, unable to stop Red Riot, and has now taken the star from Sammy Rizzle. I suppose if you're going to have 1 blocker left on, you want the pivot. Sammy Rizzle with a brilliant clean out, trying to open the door for Bailey to get out. There's bodies all there and everywhere. There's whistles gone. Somebody's going to the box. It is Glitter, the Leeds pivot. They will sit in the S1 penalty box. Pivot, I should say, sorry. But Bailey is now out and turns on the gas to accelerate away from Red Riot. Looking to the bench for instruction and leaving it to run as much time off the penalty for Glitter as possible. But a 16-0 jam in favour of Leeds in that jam. So that's what happens if you send 3 blockers to the penalty box. The chances are you're going to lose the jam. And judging by the fact that there's no Liverpool skaters on track and bench coach K-Trix had just been into the middle, I thought we were going to have a team timeout, but it looks like we are having an official timeout. The timeout has been brought to you by the Skate Sanctuary, building confidence and connection through roller skating. So if you are here today down at Greenbank Sports Academy, or if you're planning on coming down later on for the games, we do have raffles and merch stalls and all sorts of goodies here. S1 and Skate Sanctuary have made donations. Those of you that are regulars here will have been to the thrift store, which is up and running again, which is always good. It looks like somebody from Liverpool might have to go and sit in the naughty bin as the alt ref is currently chatting with their banks. It looks like it's Sammy Rizzle. So Sammy was jammer turned pivot, but is going in as the pivot as the discussion is going on. Waiting to see if I'm going to be told exactly why, what, who, how, where, when. But right now, your guess is as good as mine, folks. So the referees are still discussing, and there are still 8 referees over there. So Jam referee is stood at the box. Aha! I have somebody coming in my direction. Bear with me. So this is a new one on me. I've not seen this happen before. Sammy Rizzo has picked up a penalty for an illegal assist. That illegal assist was when they were down, they grabbed a teammate to help themselves get back up, which I'd never thought of whether it was legal or not, I suppose. It's just something you don't see that often. But yes, apparently it is a penalty, hence why Ori has the power jam for Leeds. Gap has come down to 13 points, and the way Leeds have been going in the last few jams, that could be a lot closer by the end of this one. Liverpool, though, do have a full complement of blockers on the pack, which does help. Although Ori, with the outside-inside move, dodges between Gem and Shellfire. And it's Shellfire who picked up the penalty. So, famous last words about Liverpool having all their blockers on track. They do now have a jammer again. Good work at the back there. That was Mac and Tids working together to slow down Ori. And Tids again. Good work from that Liverpool pack. And it will be a power jam. Ori with the cut. Combination of Gem, Mac and Tids did a fantastic job there drawing that cut. Sammy Rizzle is out, is on the inside. Picks themselves up slowly, getting instructions from the bench. Glitter with the big hit. And Tids picks up the direction. Sammy struggling, but does get back to her feet. Unfortunately, a pivot has literally just gone to the S1 penalty box. The Shellfire offers the offense. Sammy, with determination, digs the shoulder in to escape. Looks at the penalty box and says, oh, that's where my pivot is. And you can actually sort of feel, oh, Gem with a beautiful sweep on the offense. But Grace Ventura shut the door. Ori turns the gases on to go down on the inside. Sammy taking a moment just on the outside there. Just catching a breath, but yet manages to get up under her own steam, which is good to see. Although we'll get a little bit of support back to the bench. Leeds did win that one, 10-7, 12-7. So 88 points for the Sisters of Mersey and 80 points for Leeds. We do have an official timeout. I think it was more just discussing the impacts and the potential penalty at the end for Grace Ventura, but so far nothing seems to have changed. We'll see what happens. Again, to let you know, later on today at 2 p.m. first whistle scheduled is the Liverpool Roller Birds B team up against Durham, and then the final game of today scheduled for a 4:30 p.m. start will be London versus Newcastle. And it is yes, we are still on British summertime, I believe. That changes tonight. We get an extra hour in bed tonight, folks, as the clocks go back. That's useful when the first game tomorrow is due to start at 10:45 in the morning. So that extra hour in bed will be much appreciated. Right, does not appear to be any changes. There's nobody else gone to the penalty box. There's no one been removed from the penalty box. The scores haven't changed. So the referees decided they got it right first time. So what we have on the track is Ruckus for Liverpool and Catastrophe for Leeds with the Stars. Just under 6 minutes to go in this first period, an 8-point game. Did Ruckus keep their feet in? No, they didn't. So Ruckus will go to the box, the S1 penalty box. Went in a little bit hot there as well. See if anything comes from that. Now, Catastrophe took the star off, so cannot be Leeds jammer. So this jam will run for the full 2 minutes. There's a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Leeds, but that 3 is doing a good job at the minute. And Elwand doing a superb job with Rollo and Crash. Rejoined, helped out by Tids as well. Ruckus is already back out there. Rollo again with the takeout. Catastrophe realised in time. Tids is straight back to the S1 penalty box. Must have liked it there and was getting comfy. Ruckus trying to toast up round the outside. Just couldn't quite get past Barbie. Oh, and everything pretty much comes to a stop. Ruckus then, sudden burst of energy again, manages to fight past the animal. And there's a multiplayer block called on the animals. Catastrophe does get through. Picks up the first 4 points of the pass. Although Ruckus matches that. There was a penalty. It's Tids again. 3 penalties in very quick succession for Tids. But during the chaos, Ruckus has got through, untouched, unseen for 4 more. Although Catastrophe not far behind. 8-8 so far in this jam. And yet another 2 picked up by Ruckus at the end there. 3.5 to go in the first period. 98 plays 88. Very simple. That's a 10-point differential. And as we see, Fox with the star for Liverpool up against Peggy Lethal. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Liverpool. They were running the 3-jam rotation with Sammy Rizzle being the 3rd. But obviously Sammy took a bit of a beating her last time out. Our fantastic medics are just keeping an eye on her at the minute, just making sure that she's okay. As the animals going back to the S1 penalty box. Peggy Lethal finds a gap through. Picks up lead, not much of a lead, maybe 20 yards till Fox is behind them. But I say Leeds have the pack advantage at the moment. Ruckus, beautiful spin, sorry, Fox with a beautiful spin move to stay in bounds. And Ruckus is coming back out. But a 3-1 win on that jam for Liverpool. And we have an official review being signalled by Liverpool. I'm wondering if they're going for an additional point, maybe. It's possible. I did wonder if Fox did get through and get all 4. I say this, again, the official timeout brought to you by the Skate Sanctuary. Building confidence and connection through roller skating. Also give a shout out to our track sponsors, the Whitfield Business Hub, supporting businesses with virtual reception solutions. So Sammy Rizzle has returned to the bench, which is good to see, having been seen to by the medics and given the all clear. They still have the kit on, they still have the star on the helmet, so hopefully they will be back on track soon. So the jam wasn't called for injury, so they can come back on at any time. Those of you newer to Roller Derby, if a jam is stopped for an injured player, that player, if able to return, cannot return for 3 jams. Otherwise, they will be assessed with a penalty. So again, for those of you who are perhaps watching Roller Derby for the first time, each team has an official review per period. They can use that between jams, and they can use it to question an officiating decision. It may be in regards to a penalty that was given to one of their players that they don't think should have been. It may be a penalty that wasn't given to one of the opposition that they think should. It may be to do with the points awarded or not. There's all sorts of various things. And these days you can just use your official review as an additional timeout, which you see quite often at the end of first halves, because you get 3 timeouts that last you the whole game, whereas your official review, even if you use it and lose it in the first period, you do get a second one at the start of the second period, and I'm about to be told what's happened. So Liverpool were looking for a cut track penalty to be issued on the Leeds jammer from the very early part of the jam. None of the refs saw a cut happen, or between them could piece together that a cut definitely happened, so the no call stands. If you don't see it, you can't call it. So we have ruckus for Liverpool with the lead jammer very quickly. Red Riot being held at the back. Ruckus now comes in on a scoring pass. Inside line, left too much space. And Ruckus says, thank you very much, I'll take those 4 points. That time, Barbie had shut the door. But Ruckus says, well, if you want to shut that door, I'll find one round the outside. With help from the blockers to stop the recyclers. Red Riot is out. Closing in on the pack. Ruckus has called the jam. After taking, I think, probably still a little bit stunned from that hit that they took from Barbie. But yeah, nice little touch there. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but Ruckus, just a little bit of applause to Barbie for that hit. Great sportsmanship, great to see. So a minute to go in this period. Catastrophe for Leeds, Fox for Liverpool. And Catastrophe with help from Ori at the front. Ori doing a good job trying to open the door, and despite the best efforts of Bailey does so, Catastrophe is through as your lead jammer. Fox drops the star, Ori drops into more of a defensive mode. Catastrophe so quick around the track. So star has been passed, Rollo now has the star. Miles! Catastrophe looked at the bench, looked to call it, and was told to keep going, possibly because it's a pivot rather than a jammer that they're up against. Oh, I've seen that backfire in times gone by. Rollo doing the best to make it backfire this time. One couldn't quite get the hips there. Catastrophe does call it this time. And unless we get a stoppage, no, that'll probably be the half. I think, yeah, Leeds still have their official review left, which could delay us going into the half. But other than that, I think that's it. Just wait for our jam timer, or you, just to confirm that. And we are at half time. And we are. Half-time score, Sisters of Mersey 109, Leeds on 101. Be sure to join us back in 40 minutes and 20 seconds. See you in a bit. Alrighty, welcome back here to the Greenbank Sports Academy here in Liverpool for the Five Nations Tier 1 tournament. This is the first game of the day between Liverpool Sisters of Mersey in the yellow and Leeds Roller Derby in the black. Current score, Liverpool have the lead, 113 to 101. Just a little penalties update just for those that are in a little bit of trouble. For Liverpool, number 764 Tids has 4 penalties. For Leeds, number 10 Glitter also has 4, but 2200 Ori has 5 and are currently sat in the S1 penalty box. S1, trusted by the pros. There's pros in rollers, are we? We get paid for this? That's news to me. I'm just going to run through the rosters for you very quickly because we had the delayed start this morning. Skating for Liverpool, 13 Sammy Rizzle, 14 Jem, 15 L1, 31 Mac, 36 Atomic, 43 Kenny, 49 Fox, 77 Bailey, 105 starting with the star is Ruckus, 257 Crash, 289 Corrie, 764 Tids, 993 Rollo and 6371 Shellfire. And skating in the black for Leeds, we have number 10 Glitter, 35 Leanimal, 37 Peggy Lethal, 44 Chaos Cat, 61 Crystal Frost, 87 Siege, 93 Barbie, 94 Red Riot, 225 starting with the star in this half is Catastrophe, 262 Screech, 278 Rice Rocket, 500 Grace Ventura, 2200 Ori, 087 Pots even, and 26 Kerosene. And that was well timed. So 4-on-3 pack advantage for Liverpool to start this period. If you missed the first period, where were you? Liverpool did get off to a good start. They had about a 40-point lead at one point, but in the second quarter, so to speak, Leeds really came back into it as the penalty momentum tended to switch. So that's why we have a pretty even game at the moment. Although Ruckus has picked up 4 points as lead jammer already. Catastrophe is now out of the pack. Ruckus gets through, picks up another 4. So good start to the jam for Liverpool. Good start to the period, I should say. Although L1 is currently sat in the box. As Fox comes out to jam for Liverpool up against Red Riot. And as it seems to be the way in roller derby these days, pretty much every jam, the pack all starts on the jammer line. And Red Riot does well to skip past Mac. Want to beat at the front and does so. So Fox now takes the star down, but was stuck on the back of Barbie, could not get through. As Red Riot comes in and approaches the scoring pass. Looking for that gap, trying to see space. And just unfortunately for them, there wasn't any. Fox is out now, has completed the initiative. Red Riot is out, having picked up 4, running the jam. Leeds trusting their defence. This worked quite well for them, running the jams long. They ended up winning jams rather than winning them 4-0. They'd be winning them like 12-4 or 16-8 or scores like that, just to close that differential down a little bit. Jam is called now. Another 1 point was picked up by Fox, and 3 more picked up by Red Riot. And my scoreboard has frozen again. And I can't see the in-house scoreboard quite from where I'm sat. So we do have Sammy Rizzle. Good to see Sammy Rizzle back. Picked up a little bit of a beating on their last time out of track. But it is a power start. I didn't see that. Red Riot is in the box. So I missed that. So we do have a power jam. Picked up brilliantly by our team at Real Time Events. Here supplying the string. Although if they could fix the scoreboard issue on the screen, that would be very useful. Sammy Rizzle taken out, forced back by Crystal Frost, the captain. Red Riot is out of the box. And blast through, star in hand to complete the initial. And Sammy Rizzle calls the jam from the floor. There we go, scoreboard's back. Real-time events providing real-time magic there to get it fixed for us. And also on the real-time magic, it's Catastrophe getting through, picking up lead jammer for Leeds. Chased hard by Ruckus though. Very fast moving pack. Can Catastrophe pick up any points? Possibly, but Ruckus has definitely got 4. 4-3 steal. Ruckus is so quick, you've got to be wary. That's the opposition. If you're lead jammer, you've got to call it perhaps that little bit earlier than you think you need to. So 5 minutes into the second period, Liverpool in the yellow on 136, Leeds in the black on 111. And we have Ori with the star once more for Leeds. A very effective double threat so far. And Fox with the star for Liverpool. And when I say Ori has been very effective, they do have to be careful. They are currently sat on 5 penalties. That's a lot to begin with to start the second half. So perhaps need to calm it down a little bit. Fox though gets through, picks up lead. Fox now makes it way, trying to find that space and pick up those all important points. Forearms penalty on L1. They will go and sit in the box as Ari takes to the air across the inside in the apex of turns 1 and 2. Escapes the pack. And again, Fox just trying to run those extra few seconds off the penalty for L1 in the S1 penalty box. S1, stay safe. So 140 plays at 1-1-1. This is the first of 3 games today. Second game first whistle scheduled for 2 p.m, which will see Liverpool's B team skate off against Durham. And then at 4:30, we have London versus Newcastle. Jammers that are right now, Red Riot for Leeds, Sammy Rizzle for Liverpool. Sammy Rizzle pushing past at the front, but illegally picks up a cut penalty. So Red Riot and Leeds will have the power jam. They've got 1 jammer advantage and 1 blocker advantage at the moment. As Red Riot gets through, little hand signals, just to remind themselves to stay calm. And then skate straight into shellfire and comes to quite a sudden stop. Shellfire was part of the West Indies squad at the World Cup, I believe. The recent World Cup that took place in Austria, I should say. Red Riot has 4, looking for more. Barbie and L1 getting a bit of a tangle at the back, but everybody gets back up again. Red Riot does get through. Sammy Rizzle is out of the S1 penalty box, although not off track by a combination of, that was Glitter and Barbie, helped out by the Animal as well. And Sammy Rizzle is going back to the box. Now, as part of me, the bench coach in me now leads with Sammy Rizzle having picked up 2 penalties fairly quickly. Yeah, Red Riot has called it. I think, as I said, get through. If I was the bench coach in Red Riot even, do my best Jonathan Ross impression, Red Riot had completed that pass, I would have called it, iced the jammer in the box. Let them sit there and think about it when they've had penalties in quick succession. Of course, just a reminder, 7 penalties in total for a skater, and that leads to them fouling out from the game. And Catastrophe now has the star for this power start. And it was Corey's there, Bailey's there, Rollo's there, and I think Crash is the other one, trying to slow down Catastrophe. And Rollo couldn't quite get the last gasp hit. Catastrophe picks up lead. And as we have Siege, Potts, both out there trying to offer the offense, along with Kerosin's there as well, and Grace Ventura. Sammy Rizzle is out of the box, star in hand. Engaged straight back in. Sammy Rizzle showing no ill effects at all. Manages to get through, completes that initial pass, puts the pressure back on Leeds and Catastrophe. Catastrophe trying to get through on the inside. Knocked off. Let's have a look at the points. 3 more points for Leeds and nothing for Liverpool. Sammy Rizzle didn't quite pick up a point at the back end there. 11-point game, 140 plays 129, just over or just under 10 minutes gone in the second period. Ori takes the star once again for Leeds up against Ruckus. Empty S1 penalty box at the moment. Beautiful sweep. That, I believe, was Rice Rocket that opened the door for Ori. Whoever it was that opened the door, they opened it up with a neon sign and said, here you go. That time Ori was trying to do it on their own, but was shut down by Mac. As Ruckus trying to fight their way through. Nearly lost a knee pad, but did make it through. Has completed that initial pass. Shell fire! Big hit to take down Ori, who called to jam off. Ori had got 3. Fortunately gets themselves up. A little bit of frustration, I think. And just shaking it out, shaking it off a little bit. And we are going to have, from the looks of it, a timeout. So the official timeout has now come to an end, and we now have a team timeout. Timeout called by Liverpool. That's their second timeout, I believe. Well, they might not have called that one in the first half because of there was a long official timeout. So the timeout's brought to you by the Skate Sanctuary, building confidence and connection through roller skating. I also want to give a shout out to Mersey Skates, as they're born out of a love for roller skating and passion for building the local skating community right here in Liverpool. And also, once again, massive thank you to the fantastic crew at Real Time Events for providing the stream for us this weekend. It can be very, very stressful setting up the stream. Watching them this morning, as there was, if you were with us first thing, I do apologise, there was a slight delay getting the audio. They could hear me, but they couldn't get that through to the stream. Technical gremlins, always fun. Anyway, end of the team timeout for Liverpool. So we will have Red Riot, I should say, jamming for Leeds, and number 94 in the black. And number 49, we have Palindromic Jammers, 49 and 94. Fox has the star for Liverpool. I don't know if palindromic is a word or if I've just made it up. What I'm not making up, though, is Red Riot out of the pack as lead jammer. Although Fox has fought their way through, about half a track behind. Ooh, big move from Crash, but didn't do enough. Red Riot is in, being told to call it. Fox had entered the pack. I'll let the referee sort out the points on this one. They're the pros, and there's 7 of them. Fox has picked up a penalty at the end, so that will now be a power jam. Down to a 5-point game in favour of Leeds, who won that, in favour of Liverpool, Leeds won that last jam 3-0. And I think for the first time since the very early stages of the game, Leeds have a chance to take the lead. Catastrophe with the star picks up lead very quickly. A combination of Shellfire and Atomics trying to shut the door. Last hit by Atomic, but Catastrophe is out, picks up the 4 points. Nice, lovely, lovely move from the Animal there to open up the inside line on the apex. Catastrophe takes the lead, and we have a lead change. Might be a bit early to have a drink, but yeah, go for it. I won't tell if you don't. Ooh, Atomics thought that, Mac, not Atomic, my apologies, thought that there was a cut there. Interesting to see what comes of that. as Kenny is sat in the S1 penalty box as Catastrophe takes to the air. Pick up 4 more. Fox is out of the pack. A 16-point jam so far for Leeds and Catastrophe. And they're going to keep going. Why not? When you're going that well, keep going. And there's 4 more. That's 20 points in this jam. Fox struggling a little bit. Unsurprisingly, perhaps. Sorry, combination of Shellfire and Kenny trying to slow Catastrophe down, but Catastrophe gets through. 6 scoring passes completed so far. Time for a 7th if they've got the energy for it. Yes, they have, but the inside line opens up, but didn't quite open up enough. Catastrophe will start the next jam in the penalty box. Huge 26-point jam for Catastrophe. Its highest jam of the weekend. Sees the scores now. Liverpool on 144, Leeds on 161, but it's Liverpool now with the power jam. We've got an official timeout being signalled. Our scoreboard operators were signalling for that one. So it's timeout brought to you by the Skate Sanctuary, building confidence and connection through roller skating. So, although I'm sat sort of pretty close to the scoreboard NSOs, I'm not entirely sure what the issue is. I can't hear them. But whatever it was, it seems to be all sorted and resolved now. The 5-second warning comes in. And off we go. Ruckus gets through in about 3 seconds. Much needed. Helped out Crystal Frost going to the S1 penalty box for Leeds. Rollo picking off Siege, trying to make life that little bit easier for Ruckus, who does just get knocked down and caught at the front of the pack and then caught by Grace Ventura, but gets through, picks up 4. Catastrophe is standing and is now released from the S1 penalty box and decides to go the other way round. Perfectly legal. You can rejoin the track from whichever side you want. Catastrophe knocked out and made to recycle. Great work from Jem. And then, but does get through with the illegal assist. But it wasn't them that committed the penalty, so they're okay. Jam is blown dead. As I say, it was Kerosene with the illegal assist that opened the door for Catastrophe. 12 points though picked up by Ruckus in that last jam. Closing the gap back down to 5 points in favour of Leeds now though, who send Ori up against Sammy Rizzle. Pack advantage is with Liverpool. And so is the lead jam advantage now as Sammy Rizzle does escape as Oro was recycled. And once again, Kenny with the assistance of Shellfire and Atomic and Mac doing the job. Sammy Rizzle can't get past Barbie. Oh. Atomic picks up the direction of play and various referees, Glitter is here, showed some great footwork to stay on their feet. Star has been stashed. Ori is now out of the pack. That's the initial pass completed. And Sammy Rizzle calls it as Kenny takes a bit of a knock. That's a timeout brought to you by Skate Sanctuary, building confidence and connection through skating. Just want to give a shout out to all our sponsors this weekend. Our track sponsor, The Whitfield Business Hub, supporting businesses with virtual reception solutions, and our penalty box sponsor, which is S1, trusted by the pros. Also to give thanks to Merseyscape, although I'll just hold on for a minute as Kenny is back on her feet, making her way over to the medics area just to get checked out. But yeah, she looks okay. Merseyscape was born out of a love for roller skating and passion and building a local skating community here in lovely Liverpool. So as that jam, I believe it was called for injury. I'm not sure if Sammy Rizzle called it first or whether it was called for injury first. So Kenny may have to sit out for 3 jams. But we'll see how it goes. We currently have a 1-point game. Our alt ref is just heading over to the Liverpool bench. Atomic is already sat in the S1 penalty box. I'm wondering if anybody else is going to go. Maybe Kenny picked up a penalty at the end, and as they're currently with the medics, can't serve it. So someone else will have to. So that's what the delay is for at the moment. It might have been something else. It might have just been getting numbers adjusted or something along those lines. Because the alt ref is now back talking to our jam timer in the middle. But no one has gone from the Liverpool bench to the box. No one's gone from the track to the S1 penalty box. And our alt ref has gone to take their position beside the penalty box. We're all good. So we have that palindrome on the jammer line again, 49-94. Fox and Red Riot. Both jammers trying to find space. Red Riot on the outside does get through despite the best efforts of Rollo at the front. And it's a power jam as a cutting penalty on Fox, as Crash goes to the box as well. Sit down, Rollo with the hit. And fair play to Red Riot, shrugs it off. Little thumbs up to the bunch. Sorry, Barbie just suddenly realised that actually Leeds are winning and didn't realise if that was the sort of the loud yay that you could hear. Kenny has made the way back to the Liverpool bench, been discharged by the medics, which is good to see, as Red Riot has picked up 8 points and counting in this jam. Great work from Leeds, separating the Liverpool blockers. As Kenny has returned to the medics, as I've just noticed, yeah, Liverpool do only have 3 blockers on track. One of the medics is now making their way over towards, I think it's the pivot Rollo, who is currently off track and just being spoken to by the medics. I'll keep you posted. They're on their knees, they're conscious they're upright, they're talking, so it's nothing too serious by the look of it. Fox has now escaped, completed the initial pass, but Red Riot is racking up the points. Corey Main trying to slow them down, but not having much luck. Fox tries for the inside line, but Crystal Frost and Siege between them, with help from Potts, had done just enough to stop that from happening. So Crash and Corey now with Atomic trying to slow down Red Riot. Fox is back in, trying to pick up the points, and that is the 2 minutes. I would expect to see Liverpool call a timeout here. They do have 2 left. And just to try and take a reset. Just speak, just calm, reset, regain the focus. Lost a little bit of control. A couple of injuries haven't helped. Penalties certainly haven't helped. So yeah, that's what Catrix, very knowledgeable, very experienced bench coach, has done. So Liverpool will look at resetting and seeing what they can do as Leeds just stood on the track having a chat, waiting with Catastrophe. So again, thank you to the Skate Sanctuary, our timeout sponsors, for building confidence and connection through roller skating. Again, just to keep you informed wherever you are watching this today. Thank you very much. Currently 12:48 local time. Our next game, which is scheduled to start at 2 p.m, we'll see the Liverpool Roller Birds B team, the Yellow Submarines, up against Durham Roller Derby. And then our final game of today at 4:30 p.m, we'll see London versus Newcastle. As I said, now the clocks go back here in the UK tonight. So the timings for tomorrow, which will be back to GMT rather than BST, and I'll cover tomorrow's games in between the next, or after this jam, as we have Ruckus and Catastrophe. Ruckus picks up lead for Liverpool, much needed, but not a lot of space. Catastrophe, maybe a turn behind. Both jammers looking to turn the pace on. 1 point picked up by Catastrophe and 2 picked up by Ruckus. So closing the gap a little bit, 24-point lead at the moment for Leeds. As I was saying, timings for tomorrow. First game GMT tomorrow, 10:45, London versus Birmingham. That will be followed at 1:15 by Liverpool versus Newcastle. And then to round out the weekend, at 3:45 p.m, we'll see the start of Birmingham versus Leeds. So Leeds playing first and last this weekend. And we're back underway. Ori with the star once more for Leeds, up against Sammy Rizzle. Both jammers dealing with some strong, tight walls. Shellfire gets the penalty, as does Sammy Rizzle, as does Crystal Frost as well. But that penalty was one that helped enable Ori get through, pick up lead jammers. We've got 3 in the S1 penalty box, 2 for Liverpool, a jammer and a blocker, and 1 for Leeds, the pivot. So Ori comes back in on a scoring pass, couldn't quite keep their footing in. Great work as well by Rollo going back, forcing the drawback, that extra few feet. That time Ori does keep their feet in to pick up 4 points. Sammy Rizzle is back out now and out of the pack, completes the initial pass. So Ori comes in, finds a gap on the inside, also finds Ori waiting for, Rollo waiting for them. And when they do get back up, that Liverpool pack has reformed around them. Sammy Rizzle is at the back trying to break through. They are on a scoring pass as well now. Crystal Frost trying to provide a bit of offensive combination. So it wasn't Rollo, it was Kenny, my apologies. Who's going for what? It's Shellfire's picked up the penalty. And Sammy Rizzle again. Multiplayer block. Oh, good work from Ori getting around the outside. 10 seconds, 5 seconds, trying to turn on. Can they get back in, pick up those extra few points? I don't think they did. Oh no, they did, they got 2. Hits in front of 1 and 1 for the not on track point. Another big jam for Leeds. 8.5 minutes to go. Leeds 196, Liverpool 164. And Ruckus has gone out as pivot, although we have an official review being called by Leeds. I'm wondering if this is trying to get either Sammy Rizzle out of the box or potentially Ori put in the box. Tends to be jammer penalties that you look for. So it is starting to fill up here at Green Bank. We had a few more coming in. It was quite an early start. But as we'll see more, especially as sort of the other teams arrive, with Durham and Newcastle and London all due to play later today. So as they start arriving and their friends and supporters come along. So the official review, Liverpool have said what it is that they want. The alt ref hasn't come over and told me yet, because they've got to find out what the referees decide. We've got to make the notes and keep the paperwork in order. Oh, as the camera's pointing over. And now moves back to the important people on the track. Don't forget to let your friends, your league mates know, if they're not watching this, that they could be. Give a shout out to Real Time Events, and bear with me while I find out what the details of this official review are. So as suspected, Liverpool were looking for a jammer penalty. They're looking for one to be called on Ori for a cut track. Multiple referees had eyes on the situation, and none of them thought it was a cut, so the no call stands and Liverpool lose their review for this period. But again, it's not a bad thing perhaps to take that few seconds to reset. Pivot line start, and Liverpool's pack running away, trying to make it difficult. You know, if Catastrophe's got further to go, takes them potentially a bit longer, but not that much longer. Star has been passed. Catastrophe takes to the air, picks up 4. Ruckus, who started as pivot, now has the star and has completed the initial pass. So I don't know if Liverpool realised that it's actually a jammer that started as pivot. Catastrophe gets through. And Catastrophe told to call it. 4-3 jammer win for Leeds on that one. So Leeds have now broken the 200 mark. As my scoreboard has frozen again. On-stream scoreboard has frozen, so hopefully real-time events will pick this up and deal with this for us. If they don't, I'll start throwing things at them shortly. So Red Riot pushing at the front. Kenny gets the penalty. Red Riot is through. Ruckus starting with the star in this jam. There we go. So again, it's penalties have been the difference maker in this game, I would say. When Liverpool got off to that strong start early on, that was on the back of quite a lot of Leeds players visiting the S1 penalty box. But since probably midway through the first period, there's certainly been more yellow in that box than there is black. There's currently 2 bits of yellow in there with Jem and Kenny. Oh, Ruckus almost gets through and then sees Kerosene stood there waiting. Jam called off. So 6 minutes to go, 2:08 plays 169. 39-point lead for Leeds. Remember, we're 12 points behind at half-time. And Ori has the star once more for Leeds up against Fox. Fox knocked to the outside, Ori knocked to the inside. Rollo is back on track, trying to do their best to slow down Ori. But Ori spins through very nicely and gets through. Fox fights their way through though, completes their initial pass. Good hit this time from Rollo. Knocks Ori down. No points for Liverpool. 1 point for Leeds. So Leeds in control, clock on their side as well, 5 minutes to go. Leeds still have all their timeouts in their official review. Liverpool just have the 1 timeout left. And Leeds have that 40-point lead, and they have Catastrophe with the start up against Sammy Rizzle. And Sammy Rizzle, yes, the inside line is opened up. They do get through, but not with much of a lead as Catastrophe is not far behind. Sammy Rizzle calls the jam, having lost the footing. And holding the hamstring. Hopefully she's okay. So Peggy Lethal comes out with the star again, first time in a while for Leeds, up against Ruckus. Peggy Lethal, who had basically been retired for quite some time. Former Hot Wheel skater, for those of you that remember Hot Wheel back in the day, Hot Wheel Roller Derby, who were another Leeds-based league. But Betty Ruckus is out as lead. Peggy Lethal half a track behind. Big collision and Ruckus takes a tumble, but does manage to call it before Peggy can get in. No points for Leeds and 1 for Liverpool. As we get down to the final 3 minutes, and we have me having said Leeds hadn't taken a timeout, now they decide to. So again, timeouts. Thank you very much to the Skate Sanctuary, building confidence and connection through roller skating. Next up, about an hour from now, you will see Liverpool B team versus Durham Roller Derby. And then the final game of today at approximately 4:30 p.m. we'll see London versus Newcastle. Then tomorrow we have 3 more games. Again, remember the clocks go back tonight here in the UK. So the first game will be at 10:45 tomorrow, which will see London versus Birmingham. Followed at 1:15 by Newcastle versus Liverpool. And then the final game of the weekend at 3:45 p.m. we'll see Birmingham versus Leeds. So timeouts come to an end. Fox has the star for Liverpool. Ori has the star for Leeds. Oh, we have an official timeout for some reason. I'm not overly sure why. So NSOs are discussing something. Just while I've got about it, I want to say a massive, massive thank you to all of our referees and NSOs. Without them, we don't get to do this. So make sure that at the end of any game, any scrimmage that you play, even any practice, anybody who's been there to referee or NSO or to help out, make sure you give them the thanks and the love that they deserve. And make sure that you're including, where you're in your league, look at including training your referees as well, and training your NSOs, and potentially looking at if there's boot camps, funding boot camps for them to go to, or funding travel for them to go and work with other leagues and other people and get that experience. Because we do love our officials and we do desperately need them. So please, please, don't neglect them within your league or leagues. Anyway, back to the action. We have Fox with about a 20-yard lead, but being closed up very quickly. Fox's lead jammer. Liverpool pack move forward to try and protect the points, and allow Fox to get points. Fox might have got 1, maybe 2, just 1. And none for Ori. As Ruckus and Catastrophe for Liverpool and Leeds respectively take the Stars. 2.5 minutes roughly to go. 2:09 plays 71. Do you think if Liverpool are going to make a comeback into this now, they do need something spectacular to happen? What might help is Catastrophe on the way to the box for a back block. Ruckus giving the signal that they want to run the jam long. They realise this might be the opportunity. They will have time to stop the clock once more should they wish to. They have one timeout left. Rice Rocket got to the front but couldn't stop Ruckus, who again is signalling keep going, stretch the jam out, go long. Oh, miles from Ruckus. Ruckus, long time, very knowledgeable, very experienced and very damn good skater. Rollo this time taking out Catastrophe and forcing Catastrophe back. And there's 4 more points picked up for Ruckus. Rollo goes to the box. And Catastrophe gets through, completes the initial. Glitter drops Ruckus on the outside. Ruckus calls it. 1:23 to go. Yeah, you might risk it trying to get a quick lead, jam in a quick 3 points and save your timeout in the pocket. But that was a 12-point jam, brings the gap down to 26 points. Not unheard of. Oh, timeout has been called now, but 10 seconds ran off the clock. So if Leeds pick up lead now, and it gets into the last 30 seconds of the period clock, they can call it there and then. Liverpool do not have the option to stop the game clock now with a timeout and official review. So that's something to be aware of, whether the Leeds bench know, or for that matter care. They just want to keep playing. As I said, timeouts brought to you by the Skate Sanctuary, building confidence and connection through roller skating. And thank you once again to our track sponsor, the Whitfield Business Hub, supporting businesses with virtual reception solutions. So going into what may be the last jam. Red Riot has the start for Leeds and Sammy Rizzle for Liverpool. 4-on-3 pack advantage as Rollo, the Liverpool pivot, is currently in the S1 penalty box. And Sammy Rizzle does get out, does pick up lead. Great hit from Kenny, but it's a no pass, no penalty as Kenny went down as well. So this is, I must admit, if I'm Sammy Rizzle, I'm looking for 4 points. Hit it, quit it, call it. Call was made as Sammy Rizzle's gone down to the outside. Did keep Leeds scoreless, picked up 3 points themselves, and did it in time to force one more jam. And perhaps not surprisingly, Ruckus has taken the start for Liverpool up against Catastrophe. 23 points. The biggest jam we've seen today was 26 points. Unfortunately for Liverpool, that was from Catastrophe. He's on the track now. But Benny Ruckus gets through quickly. That is the start they need. Catastrophe is just got to be, just stay clean, stay on the track. Doesn't matter if you get through, doesn't matter if you get loads of points, just stay on the track as Barbie once again drops Ruckus. Catastrophe drawn back. L1 goes to the box. Ruckus is through, that's 4. 19 more needed. As Corey can't quite stop Catastrophe. Catastrophe gets out. Ruckus blasting in, but Barbie again doing the damage. Helped out by Rice Rocket. Catastrophe's back in looking to score points themselves. As that Leeds defence now seems to have locked in on Ruckus. Corey Mame trying to open the door. Rollo trying to make life difficult and succeeding. for Catastrophe, as does Crash. Ruckus is 3, picks up 4 more, 50 seconds to go. 25 points to make up. They can't, can they? That would be a bit too much. That is 4 more though, as Chaos Cat goes to the box. That's 1 less Leeds blocker. Liverpool blockers doing a great job on Catastrophe. And Ruckus is through for 4 more. You can probably hear the crowd going. 7 points in it. Start has been stashed. That 7 points though goes to 11, and that is a great hit. That hit out from the pivot glitter might just be the nail in the coffin. As the clock goes down, fantastic effort from Ruckus and Liverpool on this last jam. What a finish that was. Wow. Just for a moment there, just for a moment, you thought, could they? But Leeds managed just when they needed to dig in and manage to get that defence locked in and Ruckus and slow them down just enough as the final score goes official. Liverpool, Sisters of Mersey, 205, but your winners with 216 is Leeds Roller Derby. What a game to start the weekend. Wowzers. Alrighty then, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. Please, please, please come back to see us in just over 3/4 of an hour time when we will have Liverpool's B team versus Durham Roller Derby. And don't forget to join us at 4:30 this afternoon for London versus Newcastle. We will be back with you soon.